Hi, this is George Sandman. I'm the founder and CEO of Growth Drive. Growth Drive is the #1 best-selling business advising platform, and this is our podcast, the Business Advisor Hot Seat. Now, in the hot seat, you're going to hear from industry leaders, thought leaders, your colleagues who are going to share tips, techniques, war stories about building a thriving advisory business based on delivering client wins. We're going to get into it. We'll get into it about the Growth Drive methodology, the Clarity software, what we see out in the world. So much more than just the system. And I'm also the author of The Growth Driving Advisor, which is based on over a decade of being an advisor to advisor, working with you and your colleagues, helping them build their practices, helping them through client engagements. And it's really proven strategies for leading businesses from stuck to best in class. Check it out. So strap in. We're going to light this up. Here we go.
Great leaders aren't born, they're built. That's where we come in. We're Advantage, the authority company. We transform experts into authorities with our best in business publishing and marketing solutions. We can help you explore the power of thought leadership, own your story, bridge your brand to your target audience, forge powerful connections, grow your influence, and unlock endless possibilities to elevate your success. Get started today at theauthoritycompany.com.
This week's episode is brought to you by Growth Drive and the C3D certification. If you're looking to expand your reach and relevance with business owning clients, whether you're a business advisor or wealth advisor, this is a certification for you. And after completing it, you will understand how to make profits and transferable value M&A price actionable, how to maximize results for your clients. So get the details at growthdrive.com/C3D, scan the QR code, register. Listen, this is the path to building a thriving advisory business based on delivering client wins. Hi, it's George, and welcome to this week's edition of the Business Advisor Hot Seat, Growth Drive's podcast. And I'm going to talk this week, rather than having a guest, I'm going to talk about what I call the crazy eights. What are the crazy eights? Okay, let's take a step back. Growth Drive's vision is to help $1 trillion of businesses increase strategic capacity in the 3 dimensions of business growth. What are the 3 dimensions of business growth? Well, they are predictable profits and cash flow, predictable sustainable growth, and predictable transferable business value. Now, inside each of those 3 dimensions, we define the world. We divide up a business, its operations, into 8 growth-driving objectives. And it turns out that I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and the 8th growth-driving objective in each of the 3 dimensions of growth are so hard to get right that you kind of have to get everything else right in the dimension to really nail the 8th one. That's why I call it the crazy 8s, because if you can nail the 8th growth driving objective in each of these, and we'll go through them in a sec, then you will have really helped transform a client business. And CPAs out there, I was actually thinking about this in terms of you, your industry, and the challenges that face you guys as a profession. And you've heard me say it before, CPAs, if you want to differentiate your firm and blow up the world, you need to burn the boats. You've got to burn the boats. You have to stop doing what you're doing today and fundamentally change. And there are so few firms that are willing, they talk about changing and they talk about being business advisors, but they're not really doing it, right? A friend of mine got hired by a leading CPA firm, a name you guys would all recognize, got hired to come in and start their business advisory practice. And from pretty much the first week on, he got handed a stack of tax returns and said, okay, review these and we'll talk about that business advisory thing later. So that's not change. All right, but I digress. So the crazy 8s. I'm going to read you the 8 growth driving objectives in the first dimension, and then we're going to talk about the crazy 8 and why it's important. All right. So the 8 growth driving objectives are having an effective senior leadership team, ensuring that people are productive and loyal, right? That they're efficient with low turnover, that the business is generating a high percentage of recurring revenue, that the business is generating margins at or above the industry norm, that leadership is getting good numbers, right, to manage the business, financial and operating reports, financial and operating reports. It doesn't have to have a dollar sign to be important, right? That the business is using a scalable sales process, emphasis on process, and strong standard operating procedures, strong SOPs. And number 8, high customer satisfaction. The business is generating high customer satisfaction. All right. Why is high customer satisfaction a crazy 8? Because you can't just pull it out of a hat, right? You have to get everything else I just read right in order to be able to maximize customer satisfaction and to use it as a competitive tool. Now, the first dimension is simply, air quotes, predictable profits and cash flow. That's the launch pad for growth. That's the sine qua non, right, for growth. High customer satisfaction. How do we get there? Well, let's back it up. Operations, to create high customer satisfaction, operations has to be delivering on time and to spec, or ahead of time and above spec, right? They have to be doing a great job. The sales team needs to be telling the truth to the market, right? And so making correct promises on which operations can actually deliver. Now, those sound very simple. Think about getting your products and services out there, setting proper expectations with your clients, and how you can't just drop this on the sales team's desk, right? We have to have the right people in the right seats doing the right things right. Thank you, Vern. That's people productive and loyal. We have to have an effective senior leadership team that has created a vision, a mission, a strategy to execute it. And even if you're simply trying to make the business easier to run, that is a strategic goal. That is an actionable goal, right? We have to have the right leaders. They may not have, well, we just have to have the right leaders. Now, what happens if we do get all of this right and we are delivering high customer satisfaction that we can leverage to, well, maybe you guys were taking notes, but how can you leverage customer satisfaction? Well, you can feed happy customers. You can have referral programs, right? You can create evangelists out there. Technical term, nothing religious. Evangelists who are helping you generate high recurring revenues. Perhaps you're delivering ahead of time and above spec, and you're able to start charging on value, or you're able to increase your prices because you are a premium provider. That contributes directly to margins. And to understand if all of this is happening, you better bet that in your flash report, your weekly business, what we call the business flow scorecard, you are gathering numbers on the sales pipeline, implied as velocity in the sales pipeline, right? Because that goes to revenues. We have tracking our customer satisfaction as a KPI. And by the way, customer satisfaction, I'm going to shift gears here. If you're watching this video, I'm going to get out of here and jump into clarity, our strategic capacity and business value analysis. I'm here in level 2. And let's just look at customer satisfaction. It has 5 key results, right? So 24 growth driving objectives, each of which have an average of 4.7 key results. This is an OKR based system. What do we need to have in place? What are the indicators that you're managing the business well using customer satisfaction? The business has a documented process to measure customer sat. The business routinely measures customer sat. So we have a process, and we do it, including a mix of surveys and customer interviews. You know, your net promoter score is great. It's important, right? But it is, you lean in, talk to your customers, talk to others, right? Talk to your suppliers, talk to your distributors, et cetera, but talk to your customers. Best practice is to have a measurement that's done routinely, that's up to date and applied to 80% of customers. At least offer them the opportunity, right? Number 3, the business has a documented process to collect customer ideas for improving products, services, and processes. All right, a documented process. The business regularly shares customer sat data internally and externally, right? And customer satisfaction data is routinely used to manage the business. It had better be a line item on your business flow scorecard that you're using in your weekly meetings. See the execution leadership business operating system. Oh. Customer satisfaction, creating high customer satisfaction and leveraging it, right? The business routinely measures customer sat and uses this information to manage and improve performance. What could we improve? I'm stuck for time. I could go on for the next hour about this. Okay, cool. So customer satisfaction, that's crazy 8, number 1. Imagine, I'm going to come back to you CPAs. Let me pick on you. Are your customers satisfied? I mean, they're maybe satisfied with their tax return, but are they really satisfied with you as an advisor? Are you meeting the needs that the market keeps telling you they want? They want you guys to lean forward. And firms are slowly coming around to fractional CFO services, but the standalone fractional CFO businesses out there are whipping your pants, right? I mean, they are out winning clients. They are taking clients away from you. And other service providers like, I don't know, financial advisors are acquiring, big financial advisory firms are acquiring CPA firms so that they can just add that. You want to talk about commoditized, they're just adding you guys as an enhancement to what the clients, our clients, see as an actually valuable service, which is managing and maximizing their wealth. And so if all else fails, we'll whip the horse's eye. So let me stop there. All right. Well, now how about in the second dimension? What are the 8 growth driving objectives, and what's the crazy 8? Well, if you're watching this, you already know what the crazy 8 is, but I'm going to read them to you anyhow. Now, we've created predictable profits and cash flow, and that's our launch pad for growth, and that's the one that has to always remain strong. Now we're going to lean in, and we're going to say, okay, it is time to create predictable, sustainable growth. Hallmark of a great business is predictably, and sustainably growing free cash flow. The 8 are having a strategic vision, plan, and execution, right? Being strategic with the business, not simply being tactical. Having a strategic culture. Do I use the word strategic a lot? Yeah, because just tossing culture around makes people think that a foosball table will do. Pizza on Fridays, ixnay. 3, people, hiring and training. We are now growing the business. When we were making it easier to run, when we were creating predictable profits and cash flow, we just needed our people to be productive and loyal. Now we're going to grow. We need to hire, train, make people maximally effective, onboard, etc. Great. We need to have a large market size, a market into which to grow the business. Unique products and services, non-commoditized. Man, I'm beating up on the CPAs here. I didn't do that one on purpose. 6, scalable marketing process. Don't get me started. A scalable marketing process. Marketing works for sales. Financial. Now we're growing the business. So our 7th growth driving objective is to make sure that we have budgets, that we're forecasting performance in a way that lines up with our strategic plan, and that our actuals are meeting or exceeding our forecasted performance. And no, you cannot sandbag when you forecast. If you work with me, you can. What's the 8th? What's the crazy 8? Innovation. Innovation. What do you have to get right to be able to innovate? Now, I'm going to jump back into clarity. I'm going to click here on dimension 2, and let's just jump all the way over to innovation. Now, the growth driving objective, the best practice is that your business understands the value of innovation and has a proven and systematic way to drive and capture innovation from employees, vendors, customers, and the market at all levels and for every area of the business. Right? That was a lot. Innovation. Innovation creates a competitive advantage. Innovation also, coincidentally, has 5 key results. Let's read them. What are they? If you read my book, these are all laid out in there. The business actively seeks innovation of products, services, and processes. 2, there exists a documented process for collecting and evaluating new ideas from employees, contractors, customers, vendors, and the market. There exists written this is not just a suggestion box in the bloody entryway, okay? This is something you can do to really improve the business. And if you're out there and you're working for a commoditized business, start thinking about what the heck could we be doing to innovate? What can we do better? What can we do smarter? What can we add? 3, there exists written guidelines for implementing valuable innovations. We need to triage them, decide what's a good idea, what is a waste of time, or maybe a great idea, but it's going to have a minimal impact on the business, right? And implement it. 4th one, a little longer. The business protects the intellectual property created by its employees and contractors. This is a gig economy, by its employees and contractors using contracts such as work for hire, non-disclosure, non-compete, non-rate, and similar legal documents. These documents are up to date and easily accessible. You got to capture innovation, right? And 5, the business uses technology and automation as a force multiplier. AI. Business uses technology and automation as a force multiplier. Even something as simple as a CRM, right? Ensuring that it creates and maintains a competitive advantage going into the future. Innovation. So if you're, let's come back and let me beat up on the CPAs a little more. Are you guys innovating? Are you burning the boats? You know what you should be innovating? I'm going to pontificate here for a sec. You know, if you're a CPA firm, if you're a managing partner of a CPA firm, or just working for one and really care and want to share this with others, what should you innovate from this person's perspective, this man's perspective? You better innovate your form of incorporation. The partnership model is killing you. This week's episode is brought to you by Growth Drive and the C3D certification. If you're looking to expand your reach and relevance with business-owning clients, whether you're a business advisor or wealth advisor, this is a certification for you. And after completing it, you will understand how to make profits and transferable value M&A price actionable, how to maximize results for your clients. So get the details at growthdrive.com/C3D, scan the QR code, register. Listen, this is the path to building a thriving advisory business based on delivering client wins.
Great leaders aren't born, they're built. That's where we come in. We're Advantage, the authority company. We transform experts into authorities with our best in business publishing and marketing solutions. We can help you explore the power of thought leadership, own your story, bridge your brand to your target audience, forge powerful connections, grow your influence, and unlock endless possibilities to elevate your success. Get started today at theauthoritycompany.com.
You might want to innovate what services you offer. You're going to have to innovate when it comes to compensation. You're going to have to innovate when it comes to whose bloody customer it is. Whose client is it? Oh, well, let me tell you, whose client is it? And people playing Who Moved My Cheese and saying that's my client, you can't touch them. Or if that has value on it, then you can't offer, because I'm a certified valuator, and if it says value, then you can't do it unless you talk to me. Come on now. That's not for the good of everyone. You're not moving anything forward, and you're certainly not helping your clients. All right, maybe I'm going a little too far, but what else could you innovate? Your product set, your service set, your pricing, everything, frankly. Burn the boats. And if you want to talk to me about innovation, please, I'll spend an hour with you kicking ideas around, vetting ideas. I'm happy to. Why do I pick on CPAs? Because I love you guys. You are the hardest working, smartest, most caring. You suffer from analysis paralysis by and large. You know, we have CPAs that break out, women and men who just get tired of, frankly, dealing with the other CPAs and go out on their own, and they crush it. Our growth driver of the year this year is a former managing partner of a very well-known CPA firm who got forced out by the partnership. That's short-sighted because the guy's a stud. And is out in the world, having a good time. Anyway, so innovation, that's crazy 8, number 2. I may be the only person who's crazy here is me, but that's okay. Stay with me because we're going to get into the third dimension of growth: predictable, transferable business value. What price can we get? And just going to take a moment to talk about transferable value. There are really 2 dominant ways of extracting value from business. 3. The oil well. I'm just going to keep pumping cash out of this thing until it runs dry. Cool. 2, selling to a third party. Highest and best, most value you're going to get out of the business. And 3, internal transfer. Most transfers are internal transfers. Cool. That's a discounted cash flow issue, and we'll talk about that another day. Now, we're about to record that module in the C3D. Exciting stuff. Anyway, predictable, transferable value. Why transferable? Because if it isn't transferable, it doesn't mean anything, right? It's just a number on a piece of paper. It's bloody worthless. It's like a bad check. All right. What are the 8 growth driving objectives supporting? Now, these are cumulative, but they're also dimensions. So if you have created predictable profits and cash flow, and you have created predictable sustainable growth, and those are going strong, and you're growing at or above the market's rate, and this is great, you have created a more valuable business, right? But that doesn't mean you can sell it. Okay. Some other things we're going to need to do to be able to successfully complete due diligence, right? Due diligence is the hurdle we need to go through, trying to stay as sane as possible if we're going to sell the business to a third party. Due diligence is the nature of due diligence is somewhat more pleasant when for an internal transfer, but let's set the bar high, right? Let's train for the Olympics. Let's not train for a high school track meet. 8. First, strategic. There's that word again, strategic. Business story. You got to be able to tell the business's story in words and numbers in a way that an independent third party understands, buys into, and that creates confidence in the future. All right. And the story isn't a story. It is factual because it's going to be challenged. 2, financial. History of accurate and credible reports. So we just read it this as you've got to be able to survive, to crush an audit and a quality of earnings review. In fact, you better show up at the table with your own quality of earnings review. Legal, intellectual property, contracts, governance, litigation. There can't be any. 4, can you demonstrate that you have high growth compared to the market? This is where niching yourself in a credible way, bona fide, is so powerful. 5, large market share. This is a topic. There's another entire hour of talk there, but large market share. If you're beating the competition and you can prove it, that's going to give people, that you might be creating a platform company, etc. Broad customer base. Do you have 1 customer or 10,000? Which one do you think is better? A defensible market. Let's go back. Now, these are gears in the business engine. So defensible market, we can circle back to IP, to legal, but there are other ways to defend the market. And then what's our crazy 8? Some favorite one. Brand. Strong brand. Brand, George. What the heck are you talking about? Brand. Brand is the outward manifestation of culture. Brand is the outward manifestation of culture. Brand is how your customers value your business. Okay? Brand. Don't misunderstand it. Don't talk about brand equity or don't get me started. If you have a business, think about the 24 growth driving objectives. Think about having a business that has an effective senior leadership team. People are engaged. They stick around for a long time. The place is cranking out recurring revenues at margins above the industry rate. They're gathering information. They have a killer sales process. Operations is delivering. Customers are thrilled. They're operating on a strategic plan. They have a culture, a can-do, will-do culture. And they're able to acquire people, to attract the best of the best and make them, onboard them, make them productive quickly. There's a huge market for their services that are unique, that are differentiated, for which they're able to charge additional because of all the other, all of the other growth driving objectives. Marketing is bringing in qualified leads in a way that allows sales to convert them to dollars quickly. We've got budgets, forecasts, actuals. We're innovating. We're always evolving forward, always looking for new ideas, better ideas, not for the sake of ideas themselves, but because they improve the business. We have, we can tell our story. We've got all this other stuff together. We can defend our market. We have lots of customers. Does that business sound like it would have a good brand? Does it? Doesn't it? Yes, it does. Strong brand. And I'm going to shift gears and I'm going to pick on you CPAs again. It's not picking, guys. It's an opportunity. So, what CPA firms jump to mind? You get out a piece of paper, grab a pen, write this down. What CPA firms jump out at you when you think of the best out there? I have a favorite. I have a couple of favorites out there. Aprio in Atlanta, Barmenino out in LA. Eisner struggling with reinventing itself a little bit, but great firm with good leaders. And there are several others out there. I just listed 3, so I'm not exhaustive. But think about the brand of those firms with them. Okay, brand is our crazy 8 for the third dimension. So our crazy 8s, again, to recap, we have creating high customer satisfaction, identifying, capturing, and implementing innovation, and demonstrably having a strong brand. Crazy 8s. Now I'm going to jump into the clarity again, and let's talk about brand. Now, brand, we're only going to get into. It only has a couple of. We have 4 growth driving objectives. Well, some of these are kind of mundane because it's covered. I mean, brand is the outward manifestation of your culture. It's everything else. That's the reason, by the way, when I was defining this stuff, that I listed it last, but by no means least. The business has written brand usage guidelines. Yawn. Business can document the value of its brand through pricing and other metrics. We can document the value of our brand. The brand supports the business vision, mission, and strategy. And we actively work on our brand promise. You know what a brand promise is? We actively work on our brand promise, which is an outward reflection of our strategic culture. Kids, right? We actively work on our brand promise, which is an outward reflection of our strategic culture. Crazy 8s. If you can get these 3 of 24 right, you have to do so many other things to lay the groundwork. But if you're able to demonstrate that you've got these right, man, that is sexy. Man, that is sexy. If you're acquiring a business and you're saying, wow, you're thinking about the future, right? You're not buying the past. You're buying the future. If you think about having high customer sat, innovation captured, triaged, implemented in a way that contributes to the growth of the business, the health and growth of the business. By the way, growth could just be through efficiency. I mean, and brand, having a strong brand. Wow. Pretty killer business, right? So, trying to think if I have some final thoughts. This is powerful stuff, guys. Your colleagues are out there implementing these ideas, just discussing these ideas with your client. Think about how your client is going to perceive you if you go through these 24 growth driving objectives in a way that they actually are reading, they are answering, they are involved, and they are ultimately holding up a baby and saying, hey, I think I understand what a beautiful baby is, and I thought I had one, but I may have an ugly baby. Can you help me make this a beautiful baby? Heck yes, you can. Heck yes, you can. This is what private equity does every day. Private equity looks at businesses through these lenses, and they identify where the business is doing well, where it's not doing well. They line that up with their tolerance for risk and their expected return. And they say, yeah, this business meets our tolerance for risk, and it is going to deliver within our anticipated, our planned return parameters, and we know what to fix. We're going to maybe create high customer satisfaction. We're going to do a better job of identifying and capturing innovation, and we're going to work on making good on our brand promise. By the way, if you don't think that links back to customer sat, these are gears in the business engine. That business engine, each of the gears must be healthy. Some of the gears are more important, if you will, more impactful than others, but they are all important. There are no unimportant gears in the business engine. And what's the output of that engine? The output of that engine is revenue. The output of that engine is profit. And the healthier the engine, the more revenue, the more profit. And if you want to grow, you need these gears synced together. If you want to sell the business and maximize value, you need these gears to be synced together, demonstrable. They need to create predictable profits and cash flow, predictable, sustainable growth, and that yields predictable, transferable value. It all comes down to buyer confidence, right? So, okay, kids, this was fun. Thanks for humoring me. I was out for a week, most of it flat on my back. So didn't have a guest this week, but gave me an opportunity to share the crazy eights with you. And they are crazy. They're crazy effective, crazy impactful. And so this was fun for me, and I hope you got some value out of it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you tuning in, and we will talk soon. Thank you. Hi, this is George. Thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, you can subscribe, like, and please take 2 seconds to leave a review. It tells the world that you like what we're doing, and it helps us understand how we can improve the show. Thank you, and see you next time.